Hello. This is a different kind of test of a
Digital Sage
stream.
subbed as tier 1 and says hi. End of line.
Digital Ice Age, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 19 months there. I appreciate that. Just to confirm, you all can hear me, right? Just making sure, because I've changed some things and I'd just like to be sure of that. Okay, good. You can hear me. All right.
Oracoon subbed as tier 1 and says this is not a different sub anniversary though. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the tier 1 sub there and for 4 months. Let's see. A little quiet. So as usual, I mean, I can can't hear. Not in hi-fi. No, that mic sucks. It's terrible. Don't worry. We'll switch to another one. Seems to be audio lag. That's unfortunate. There's not a lot I can do about that. I can try boosting this a little bit and see if that makes it better. This is complicated. So the other thing I want to ask is, does this look any better? Because I think it should. There are some different things going on here. We haven't really done anything yet, so here I'll do a thing while you guys try and determine how this actually looks. Let's see. Clicky.
KARATAUS 82S subbed as tier 1 and says yay 19 months. I can have adult beverages in Canada now. Wow. End of line.
Caritas, thank you for the 19 months there yourself, too. I appreciate that. Frame rate seems lower. It should actually be the opposite. Wait. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Black subbed as tier 1 and says end of line.
I got confused by something because it was weird. Running Homebrew on the Steam Deck? That's just any program you compile yourself. Contrast looks less harsh than usual. Interesting. Well, here's a cool thing I can show you. Let's see. Let's try this. All right. So, this is my Steam Deck, and it's currently really dark. Hold on. Thank you, ATEM, for changing it. Okay, so this is running, thanks Bethesda.net, Quake, all right. So we can get into game here. Okay, pretty good. Okay. This is not running on the Steam Deck. This is running on my server at home. I'm streaming the Steam Decks or the video of the game to the Steam Deck. So I've been messing with Steam Remote Play, and I've installed every Steam game I own on my server now, and I can now access them all from my Steam Deck anywhere, which is kind of crazy. But bye bye data cap. Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you? um, that's just LCD Steam Deck. I'm not paying extra money just for OLED. If they'd made it 1080p, I would have bought it. But it's still 1280 by 800. Just why? Battery life through the roof. Yeah, that's one thing. No, I don't have better internet. I have access to all of the same internet options I've always had. One of them may have been a better option than I realized. But we're gonna try and see how this goes today before I reveal that. So, low frame rate seems to have been on your end. Refreshing made it much better. Okay. Great that it just works. So it's not quite that it just works. Also, I should have quit the game rather than just turn off Steam Deck. One moment. I'm actually running WireGuard from my Steam Deck. It's in desktop mode. I don't know if you can see that from there. In order to use the KDE Network Manager to actually connect it. If I use the systemd WD Quick or WG Quick thing to automatically connect it in the back end, I bet I could make it work in the SteamOS mode as well. But yeah, so she'll be hosting his own Stadia instance, basically, and it's actually really good. I like it way more than I would have guessed. So, let's see, longest cable. All right. So let me go over what we're actually doing today. Random e-reader development. I have my laptop hooked up over
JEPIN 247 subbed as tier 1 and says end of line.
Jupin, thank you for the tier 1 sub there, and for 12. That's 13 months. Thank you for that. So chat is missing camera. Yes. There is nothing I can do about that, but I have a workaround that we'll use in just a moment, but I cannot do anything about that. For now. Well, never, but I'll get to it. So, all right, let's go over to the actually there's a thing I want to click first. give me 1 second here. Okay. All right. Now I'll click this. We're going to go work on e-reader code. Why did that not change? Oh, wait, because that's really far behind. Okay. I can... Oh, I messed up. One moment. Hold on. Click. Okay. I can do... Boop, that. Hi. All right.
RT subbed as tier 1 and says end of line.
Fnood, thank you. Yeah, Fnord, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 17 months of hanging around. Okay. Wow, that text is tiny. 4K monitors are like high res. Okay. Let's see. Yes, that is being rendered on the server. Yes. Which has always been an option. It kind of is annoying because I have to run it twice. In order to do this, but whatever, the stream API stuff. So, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and work on this. Let me, while I'm
subbed as tier 1 and says end of line.
Sorta Blair, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 7 months there. Let's see. There's nothing set up, is there? I just start Steam on Windows and get the option to stream games in Steam Deck without having them installed. Or you're in the same house, though. I'm not. I'm doing this over the internet. Let's see. No, we do not have a memes channel on the Discord. That's not really what I'm focused on. Okay. I'm just going to bring that over a little bit to make this easier to see. Okay, this text is kind of like ridiculously big. Let me bring you up to speed on where we're at with the game. I'm going to go ahead and run it here. Man, that makes the console absolutely ridiculously enormous. I might be able to get you audio properly here this time. Let me see. let's disable audio. This? No. How about this? No. That? No. No. This? No. Okay, I have no idea how it's making sound, but you can't hear it. Okay, that's really strange. Unless I have to click apply. Oh, I bet I have to click apply. Click. No. There. No. There. No. It's like it doesn't exist. Wait, can I just see it in the KDE thing here? Hold on. It's going through... It thinks it's going through the headphones, points to the headphones, but it's not. Oh, now I can hear myself. Oh, now I can hear myself. That's cool. One moment. One moment. Off of that. Okay. Ah, there we go. Now you have music. Okay, that should be the Game Boy. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I think that's it. Okay. All right.
Scan that code.
Music got much worse? What do you mean it got much worse? Can you... Let's see. Does that share built-in speakers? No. That's too much sound? Okay. We can hear the game. All right. Is this an acceptable amount of sound and such? It would help if I press the right button. Just trying to figure it out if that's good. All right, we're going to assume that's good for now. All right, so the game. There are regular old bullets. There is now a laser, and the laser can be aimed. Now, the player won't actually be able to do this. That's not a feature that I'm intending the player to have access to, but I still needed it. So, working fine, just got quieter. Okay, is it too quiet? I can bump it up. Sound doesn't, it's not super duper important. Whoa, why is it stuttering so much? Oh, because KDE. I'll do that. Okay. So if I speed up to the boss here, it's making a weird sound. I don't know why that's happening, but now the boss has a laser attack. Now, the time that it does the attack for is random, and so that means that it won't always close down on you. I want it right in the end. It won't actually close down all the way. That's a little cruel, but that's the idea here. So also, this was kind of a pain in the butt. You can now laser attack the boss, and that's what we're actually going to fix today. There's a problem with bullets and lasers being spawned at the same time, and then being removed at the same time. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But it's working if I use a boss that doesn't have laser access. I can show you can defeat the boss with nothing but the laser. I am super duper cheating to make that work. So the laser is sprites, and I did not want to have to figure out how to determine if the sprites were colliding with the boss for the lasers, because, well, that would be a nightmare. So what I'm doing is, oh, where is this actually? Player, somewhere. Wow, I genuinely have no idea where I put this. Somewhere in the code. It might be in the bullet code. Let's look at that. It checks the height of the player against the height of the boss when the laser is active. And it checks if it's a player laser. So is it, where is it? Player, bullet player, check. Okay. Here we go. So this is how I'm doing this. We're doing boss tile hit check here, but and this takes an X and a Y position. I'm using the Y position of the player, or the laser more accurately, because that'll be the vertical position. But because the laser basically goes the whole length of the screen, what I'm doing is I'm having it check the second to last-ish 224. You know what? Maybe that's not quite right. It's 240 pixels across. Oh, wait. Yeah, but tiles are 8 pixels. That's 16 pixels back. Yeah, so this checks the second to last tile for a hit. There will always be, at minimum, like 4 tiles or something. So that's like dead in the middle of it at the smallest possible size. So it checks the position there. I already had this function for bullets. So I'm using that and then just totally cheating. So it's technically not even checking if the sprite is colliding with it. I'm just checking the vertical position of the player. So yeah, totally cheating. See, isn't that getting close to the horizontal sprite limit? There's a horizontal sprite limit? You may have just answered a question for me. Because one of the problems that I was noticing, let me get into this again. That would explain a lot of things, actually. I did not know there was a horizontal sprite limit. Uh-oh. It's only so many sprites in a scan line the GBA can draw. Well, that definitely explains. So, fun fact. There's a line of code in here. I'll show you this real quick. Let's see, player.c. So the player gets spread shot, and it shots spread out. But that means that the player shoots 2 bullets every single time they fire. And initially, I was having it fire 2 bullets right on top of each other, so they just go directly along with each other. But I found out that the game would crash if I did that. So now it checks if there is a spread, and if there isn't a spread, it'll only fire 1. That would make sense if it has a limit to the amount of horizontal sprites it can draw, why I had to do that. Oh wait, hold on, no, this won't work, we have to quit. I think, Seed 1 has a...
Start application.
Has a enemy there. So yeah, let's see. You just set this back another Fortnite? Yeah, really. See, I'm not judging you for shield? What do you mean shield? Oh, is it misspelled in the code? No one can read the code. It shouldn't crash, it just won't draw all the sprites. Yeah, I think you... Well, okay, in that case, I'm gonna guess the other one was related to collision checking. But I think you're right about the horizontal sprite drawing. Let me show you what happens here. So, when they cross each other, it will, like, black out the player and the sprite there. So now I'm thinking that might be what that is. Oh, that's bad. There's no way I can fix that, is there? Oh no. How do I solve that? I wish I knew what that buzzing sound was. We have to fix that today, too. Okay, well, that's cool. How do we solve that? Huh. Those are only 3 sprites, by the way. There are 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, right there. So it's not actually that bad. Finally, time for flickering sprites. I really don't want flickering sprites for the lasers. That would be awful. How can I do this? So the boss is actually made out of tiles. So that's not a problem. I am super duper cheating for the boss. If we go to game state views and view tiles, or not that, let's do maps. View map. There is a dedicated background layer just for the boss because I wanted it to be super detailed and big. So that's already not sprites. Yeah, when the lasers, well, not near horizontal. So if I let this run, and it fires one that is horizontal, well, yeah, actually, we'll cover a couple of things here. So first, when like that right here, what that is, that's a problem with the sprite rotation going on. I can technically fix that, but the lasers will be slightly shorter. But oh my gosh, fire one for longer. And Oh, it was so close. Come on. There we go. So, oh, that's perfect. We can see the top of the sprite is being drawn for one line and then just gives up. Huh. And the player sprite is completely gone. Oh, no. How do I do this? Oh, man. Also, I'm going to try and... I'm going to kill the game. I'm going to try and maybe solve the buzzing sound. I have an idea of what it could be. Hopefully it's that. If it's that, then we'll figure it out later. I want to just run through and see. Some games flicker the sprites between frames for that. Yeah, I was initially planning on doing that for the bullets, and I still could use that logic for this, but I really wasn't planning on having to do that for the lasers. I think it's going to make the lasers look terrible. Alright, let's get over to the boss. I want to see if the buzzing is solved. No. What on earth is buzzing? Great. There isn't a sound that plays repeatedly for the boss. So there's some kind of logic somewhere hiding. A console is driving me crazy. How do I get it to stop doing... You know, hold on. I can't adjust UI scaling on the fly. That's a problem. Oh. Oh yeah, I do flickering to indicate invincibility frames. But yeah, I haven't done it for the bullets yet. That's gonna be a nightmare. Oh, man. Call that engine noise? It's only on when the boss is visible though. That's where this is weird. I wish I could see more than one terminal vertical lines at a time. What code is only being run when the boss is live? Everything after this. But I don't think there are any sounds being played in this. Play sound, enemy fire. What is the condition for this? If it's ready to fire again. I bet that's it. And I bet it's with how I did the laser. Oh, that's totally going to be it, isn't it? This will solve it. There won't be fire sounds for this. I can fix this if this is it. Okay, I think this is going to be it. The laser logic for the boss is very weird. I could have done a better job of it, but oh well. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay. That's the problem. So normally there's a minimize button to clear this, but what's happening is the UI is floating.
100 pew. End of line.
S-Dub Texas, thank you for the 100 bits. This UI is floating right now, so yeah, that kind of shows it. If I could click that, then it would go away, but it's being dumb. Anyway, I'm using Eclipse because it's genuinely made this a lot easier to manage with how much more complicated this code has gotten now. Okay. Actually, I bet that is the ship the problem? I can try hiding the player and see if that fixes it. First off, I'm gonna solve this. So it's only going to play for these now. I had initially moved it there because if it got to that point, the weapon was being fired. But, and that saved like a couple of bytes of code. We're technically up to 4 cards now. Barely, you can maybe see that on the left side. Probably not. So this will now make it only make noises when it's firing bullets and not lasers. May be a separate laser noise. I don't know. Laser's kind of complicated.
Scan start application.
Okay. Alright, I just want to hear the boss make bullet sounds. I think that's correct. Beautiful. Okay. We're golden. Okay. So that's one bug fixed. Let's go ahead and do this. Fixed boss buzzing sound. Okay. Boom. All right.
JJDB 210 subbed as tier 1 and says looking really good. End of line.
JJ, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 27. That's so many fingers. 16 and 8 is 24. Then that's 27. Holy moly. I'm almost out of fingers here. Holy. Whoa. Thank you so much for that, JJ. And thank you. I'm really happy with how it's coming along. It's so close to having all of the technical implementations done. Like, once we get the lasers figured out for the boss, it's done from a technical side. Then I'm going to add the spread shot enemies and the laser enemies. There's going to be 2 more standard enemy types in here that I've never even really shown you, because I haven't got to that point. I was trying to add all of the logic stuff in. Let me just show you that really quick. I think I showed you the first possible day what the plan was here. So 1 second, projects, RoboRun, graphics. Yeah, here we go. So there's still 2 more enemies that need to be added. One moment. Here we are. So one of them, this is the spread shot enemy. So it's going to fire. I'm holding my hand up to this thing like you could see my fingers. It's going to shoot out from these 2 spots. So that'll be the spread shot. And then there is going to be the heavy enemy, which is just going to fire a laser from the center. So those 2 will get added. Then the other thing I'm going to add that'll be more variety content, just to make the game have more to it. I'm going to modify this. This is the texture that defines the tiles for the map. So we have the first tile that is just transparent. That's what open space is. And then we have groupings of 4 tiles that are part of a tile theme. What this does is it picks 2 groups at a time. So you can have like these solid ones and then these open like rafter ones at once. So it picks 2 out of the, I think there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different themes at a time. And it mixes the 2 and then picks the 4 tiles from those to use for the random values. But what I want to do is I want to duplicate this and then make different full themes. Like, let's say these are tile sets in the theme, and tile groups in the theme. I want to make more themes, so there'll be a Y offset on this, and then that will pick the theme. So I want one. This is like a dilapidated space station theme. I want something that's maybe more like Tron Legacy as well. That's kind of an idea. Maybe think Pac-Man mazes type thing. I want one that will be a surface of a planet as well. And then for that one, it won't generate a top of the map. It'll only generate the bottom, and it'll be limited to the bottom half of the screen as well. So that's kind of what I'm going for on that. So those are 2 more graphics things, the enemies and the maps that I want to get added. And then one other thing that you probably wouldn't even think of is this function down here, enemy path. So the paths for the enemies are always from the right to the left, straight every single time. And that logic is here. But the way that the enemies are designed, they pick a path type, and then they follow it. There is a value here, T, that's incremented, and that's used to determine where they are on the path. It's not actually the X value that gets incremented directly. It's this. And then the X value is proportionally modified from the T value. The long story is I can create not random paths. I can create different kinds of paths for the enemies to follow. So if I wanted an enemy to move on a sine wave, I just have to create a new case here that uses the T value to determine where on the sine wave the enemy is, and it will still work. So I want a sine wave one for sure. I want a just straight up curve, so to have the enemy swoop across the screen. Some that are just diagonal. So I want some different paths here. And then the other thing, this one's actually been really difficult. This is going to kind of be a feature logic thing. I want it to have the option to spawn enemy pairs. So especially for like the ones that swoop across the screen, you'd have two that spawn, and then they'd cross each other as they go in an arc over the screen. And I think that would look really cool. Same thing for the sine wave enemies. I'm actually going to have the sine wave be dependent on where they are relative to the center of the screen. It'll determine the direction they go initially. So yeah, these are all things that I want to add, but they're all functionality that can be added later, not like core fundamental things. I've been trying to get all the fundamentals done first. So those will all be added later. But for right now, we got to solve the stupid problems, the technical things. So yeah, the enemy spawning vertically is, in pairs is actually going to be really, really hard. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to rewrite the enemy spawn function, but it'll be worth it. So, see, are they not ducks? No, they are not ducks. One person here started calling them ducks. They're not ducks. They're also not necessarily final, but I'm becoming less inclined to actually trying to recreate the sprites. But no, it's a spaceship. This is the body of the ship. That's the cockpit. This is a wing, and that's a gun. That's the engine. It's not a duck. I actually don't see duck in this. I don't know how you get duck out of that. Oh yeah, they're upside down in the game. That's a debug feature right now. So I honestly thought they were ducks too. I don't get it. Oh man, I you know what? Here we go. Wikipedia. Wikipedia to the rescue. The first image I was about to show was an Adobe stock photo. It was like, you can license this image. I'm like, wait a minute, I probably shouldn't show that one on stream. That's a duck, all right? Duck. Enemy spaceship, not a duck. This is the dumbest thing on stream. I mean, I guess no, not really, not with I'm not seeing it. There's nothing in the back for the duck. I mean, if they had plumage back there, I would agree, duck head. But no, I disagree. Not a duck head. You know, this placeholder duck image. Oh my gosh! I love how I can't see it. Oh well, let's continue. Oh man. Yeah, I get that sanity, but that's like the bill color, like and the gun at the bottom, and again, there's no plumage on the back. Oh man, I don't know. I searched duck. Wikipedia called it a duck. I think it did actually. It doesn't matter. All right, let's continue. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this. Ooh, I just had a realization. I don't have to change the UI scaling for that. One moment. Projects, e-reader, bin. Okay, here. I can cheat. Let's get rid of that. Save. Continue. Yes! No UI scaling! That's right, I forgot it was Java and I was cheating to make it scale the UI to begin with. Oh, that's so much. That's the same. That's the same. The actual buttons are better, but like everything else is the same. How about console? I'll take my wins. All right. The bottom looks like a wall mounting. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. So the real problem we have right now is the issue with the colliding laser IDs not being set correctly. So let me go over this. No, we don't want that level actually. Hold on. Quit. Okay, we want level 1. All right. So when this enemy fires its lasers, if I fire one, it overwrites theirs. That should not happen. And did you see that bullet that got spawned and then just stopped? That's also bad. Something is going on with the laser memory, or with the bullet memory, where that's happening and it shouldn't. So if I do this one more time, it should get really messed up. We're just gonna keep doing that. Ooh, did I just get... What did I get hit by? That was weird. There we go. Crash. Alright, so that's what we need to figure out. So let me go over how this code works, because this is weird. I'm gonna cover a couple of things here all at once so that you guys can come along with me for the ride to understand how it is I'm actually doing this. So, also, oh, I'm out of coffee. I was gonna go grab coffee and I realized I'm just out. Okay, so some space baked up. All right, so the first thing we're gonna look at is GameState.h here. This is a manager class, not a class because it's C, not C++. So this is the manager header, let's say, that I put a lot of high-level detailed data in so I can keep track of things. One of these things is the sprite limits. Now, these are used to set how many sprites can be made for everything. And technically, Laser Max should not be in there. Let's get that out. I feel like I've done that before, but oh well. So we have maximum amounts of sprites for everything. So the maximum amount of enemies that can be on screen currently is 8. I think I want to try and increase that. The maximum amount of bullets that can be made are 32. The maximum amount of drops, that is the spread shot, the cooldown for the rapid fire, and the shield pickups, is 3. You can only have 1 of each of those on screen as it is. So it's just 3 is the limit. And then the effects are the explosion effects that happen when the boss explodes. There's a limit of 5 explosions total on screen at once. Now, I did not want to have to allocate the lasers to this permanently and then give up, say, bullets for this, because the lasers are made out of sprites. If I bring up this again, let me go to here. Not that. Development, projects, RoboRun, graphics. Okay. So this is what the laser sprite looks like. And it has to be super wide for dumb reasons. So it is actually this wide. And it's very annoying. But it's a wide sprite. And what I can do to kind of demonstrate this, if I go to bullet laser, I kind of wanted to do this anyway, so we're gonna make a minor change here. So where's the laser update? Okay, so times 64. I think that's the only time that value is used. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this times 80. All right, we're gonna try and run that, see what happens. So if you scale the sprite, you can, but the maximum amount that you can scale a sprite is just 2 times from my testing. So if I make a sprite that's 1 tile, the most I can make it as far as width is 2 tiles. That sprite is 8 tiles. The other problem is that apparently the scaling messes up the collision boxes. And I'm using the collision boxes because when you have the laser at an angle like that, oh my gosh, is it a nightmare to calculate the collisions. So I'm using the native collisions. But anyway, you can see the spaces between there. So the lasers are made out of 3 sprites that are all in a line, and then I use math to figure out how to position them along the arc when they're rotating. There's an extra thing that happens when the laser gets close to the edge. It's actually pushed back towards the player. That way it can use up the maximum amount of space without drawing off the side of the screen. Because when I didn't do that, if I would go straight up, let's say, then the lasers would wrap around the bottom. Also, that's why the player can't have lasers be angled, because if you go too high up, then it just stops drawing them completely. So the laser is made out of segments that are just positioned right next to each other. So if I go over, you can see how the laser moves to not go off screen like that. So currently, there are a maximum of 3 lasers that can exist at once. The player has 1 laser, bosses will have 2 lasers, and the laser enemies, there will only be allowed to be 2 of them in existence at once, and there'll be a special counter just for that. And when a boss comes on screen, if there happen to be any laser enemies, I'm going to have them blow up, just to make sure that's not a possibility. So the way that I'm making, so that means that there are a total of 9 sprites that are allocated just for the lasers when they're on screen. But rather than lose out on 9 sprites all at once, what I have happen is the laser fire function starts out at the top of the bullet maximum. So it starts out at the top of the bullet management array, let's say, and it works its way back. Now, bullets are assigned sequentially from the bottom. So if you fire 1, 2, 3 really quickly, you'll get ID 0, 1, 2. But let's say your first bullet hits something, it blows up, but then the other 2 keep going off screen. If you fire again while those other 2 are off screen, you'll fire another bullet, and then it will get assigned ID 0 again. So it won't get assigned ID 4. So it's always from the lowest to the highest. So this starts from the highest to the lowest for the lasers, kind of hoping not to overwrite bullets. But what happens is if a bullet is being used, it will still track it. The only thing it tracks is if it's not a laser. So if it's a laser, it skips it because you don't want to get rid of lasers just to make another laser. But if there is a bullet there, it will clear the bullet and then can create a laser in its place. Something is going wrong with this code to where this does not seem to be working, and it's not detecting that a laser is already utilizing that bullet ID. So we need to try and figure this out. So that's the problem. But yeah, there is a struct in the bullet stuff here. So this is the bullet data structure that handles all of this. And that is reused by the lasers. There's a laser struct as well, but this is only 3 items in this, and this one's 32 by comparison. So, yeah. Let's see. Did you make the laser sprite generate at runtime already to save space? No, I have not done that yet. Yeah, that's going to be a thing that I do currently. That laser sprite that is literally just, it could be 1 horizontal row of pixels duplicated like 64 times, but it's not. So what we have right now instead is yeah, that one actually. We have this as a giant array of all of the colors for the tiles. It's kind of stupid. 256 bytes for something that can be represented in 8 bytes. So yeah, I'm gonna dynamically generate this array utilizing these values at runtime later. That's not an optimization I need to figure out right now. That'll be like a final pass when I'm trying to condense this down. But for right now, we gotta figure out why this isn't working. So, can you run 2 lines parallel to the line used to position the lasers and detect if the lines intersect with an enemy sprite? So what you're asking is, you're asking about the collision stuff. Here's another problem. We can't use scaling. In addition to the collision issues, when you scale the sprite, let me here. I'll just rerun this. Actually, let me fix the 64. Let me rerun this and then I'll pause and show you something really quick. I just changed the window scale. View frame size 3x. There we go.
Start.
All right. So when the laser is at a certain angle, yeah, right there. So you see this gap right here? What's happening is that the laser is being rotated outside of the 8 tiles tall that it can be, and it's being cropped off. When you start out with a scale size of 1, and then scale it up, it doesn't scale vertically, the drawable box, so you end up with the laser getting cropped off of the top and bottom with that too. That's one of the reasons it has been a real pain in the butt, but scaling breaks everything. So you can't rotate like this if you're using scaling, and the collision boxes don't work anymore. So yeah, unfortunately, this problem gets worse if you scale the sprites, so it must be that big. It's not a problem because the size of these sprites will be 5 bytes. Actually, not even 5 bytes. It's going to be 4 bytes at runtime, or at compile time, and then at runtime, then it'll fill up the RAM. And generally, I'm going to have unlimited RAM for this, so that's not an issue. But yeah, I cannot scale that. It just breaks everything. So, okay. We need to figure out what's going on and why the laser is being overwritten. So, let's try and figure out a theory first. So, 2 lasers get made, and they're shown here. So, let's... Actually, this is kind of perfect. Laser bullet found. Are we printing anything else for this stuff? We don't need this. Let's get rid of that. It just prints a bunch of garbage. I think there's a bigger one down here. Laser removal, bullet removal. We don't need that. Alright, laser bullet found. Okay, so this prints out the spot where it's going to try and put a laser. So let's do this. We're going to look at the console while we run this time, and we're going to see what happens when the enemy is firing 2 lasers, and then we fire at the same time, and see if we are assigned a colliding laser ID value. So I'm going to run this down here, and then we can see the console up there. So we'll go here, because that gets us 1. There's a bonus bug that I would like to fix. The random number generator is doing a very bad job of enemy positions for some reason, and it puts them all in a line. I gotta fix that. That's gonna drive me crazy. That must be fixed. So that's a minor bug. Okay. So I want to watch it for a little bit here. Okay. It found spot 29 and 26. Perfect, because those are 3 numbers away. Then if I fire... hold on. I'm gonna pause. Game has crashed. When I paused... That's interesting. Okay. That's really weird. What? Huh. Okay. So, laser removal 1, that's removing ID 1. Okay, that removes 26, 27, 28. Okay. Laser removal 0. Okay. Laser removal cooldown. Okay, so this was enemy firing. Laser removal 0. 0. Ooh, why did that remove 0 twice? Hold on, let's rerun that. I want to try and be a little quicker on the pause this time. Alright. Fire, fire, pause. Okay. So I paused and then released. So mine should be gone. Alright. Laser bullet found 29 and 26. And then laser removal? That's weird. It didn't try and find a laser for the player one. Why? Let's run that one more time, but I'm going to pause while holding the button. It's not... It's not finding a new laser for the player, or a new bullet ID. So it's getting to this, and then giving up. Return 0. Okay. The player code is not handling that correctly, because 0 is a valid ID. Oh, well, found the problem. Technically, this should be a signed value, and we should return um, -1. Yeah, okay. But why is it not finding a valid laser? That should be possible. So it found... I'm gonna mute it. Right, I think we're done with sound for now. Okay. So we found 29 and assigned one of them. And we found 26. Okay. So our max is 32. So it would be 29, 30, 31 as valid lasers. That's cool. That's fine. Laser limit. Okay, laser limit is bullet max 32 minus laser len count. That should be 3 times this, which should also be 3. Shouldn't be plus equals. Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably going to be what it is. Yeah, let's just go ahead and try that without doing the math. That's probably it. All right, and I'll plug the controller 1 moment. Okay.
Scan.
All right. Beautiful. Okay. So that's solved. Perfect. There's nothing I can do about the horizontal sprite drawing. Oh, no. Oh, I so didn't want to have to do alternate frame rendering. Ugh. How are we going to do this? All right, well, let's commit that change. That solves that. Oh, this is going to be awful. How do I hide a panel in this? Because I really don't need some of these. Show view. No. All right. Oh, this is going to be bad. All right. What did we change in game state? I think we just moved that, right? By the way, this view is one of the reasons why I'm really liking using Eclipse here. This is the way that it handles showing diffs is fantastic. So when you're going through a bunch of files all at once, showing the diffs like this, super handy. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move that out because that's not actually a sprite limit. Oh. Ship only vanishes when it's covered by 2 lasers. Is that hitting a draw limit? Yes. So it turns out there's a horizontal sprite drawing limit on this. So that was like a big problem in the Atari 2600 too, wasn't it? All right. Laser ID collision solved. Okay. Oh. This is gonna be. Let's try a really dirty, quick and dirty drawing fix to start. Oh man, this is gonna be awful. Okay, so for laser or bullet update, okay. So one of the other benefits to handling is this done this way? Hold on. Laser update, laser ID. The positions are set. What happens in this? So I was using the... Okay, this does hit checks and all the other fun stuff. But that... Hold on. Continue. Bullet inbounds. Update bullet. If it's not laser, okay. So lasers are susceptible to... Hold on, I want to see if lasers are susceptible to the delay. So really quick, I'll demonstrate this. I already solved the one problem with having too many. That seed doesn't work. One moment. There we go. All right, so one issue I already fixed. If we cheat code our way to super laser shots. When too many lasers are on screen, it lags the lasers in an attempt to not lag the rest of the game with the sprite position update commands, because that actually causes the most back-end lag on anything. Now, I don't remember if laser positions are delayed. This is going to be difficult. I can't tell. I think they're not. Okay. It's if type is not laser, do this. This should be affected though. Oh, because it's being updated up there. Yeah, only bullet type does not equal laser. The position it's set. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Oh boy, if this is gonna be terrible. Frame, no, if ER API underscore mod frame underscore count 2 equals 1. Yeah, that should be good. And what is this, basic? I. Let's just go with I. No. Then else. Okay, let me think about this. ER API right. Or show. Okay, sprite show and then handle. Where is it? This. Okay, I would like it to be where it's only drawn if we're doing the correct frame. Oh, wait, no, hold on, hide. That's always going to show. Hide. This logic's probably wrong, so let me run it. It's most likely wrong. I'm just going to run it. Come on, go. Okay. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. That's not working. Okay. I want to draw odd-numbered bullets on odd-numbered frames and even-numbered bullets on even-numbered frames. How can I do this? Oh, I've been avoiding this for so long. I'm very afraid how this is going to break other things as well, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, let me think about this. This would be an odd number frame equivalent. That would be an odd number bullet equivalent. I think we need more conditions. That's what it is. Else if Okay, if we say this is 0, then this would be odd frame and even bullet. So let's say if those are both like that, okay, and then we can have the opposite, else if this is 0 and that's 0, and if that's 0 and that's 1, okay. So show, hide, show, hide. Okay, that might work. That's actually working correctly. Oh, the flickering is awful. Oh, it's so bad. What does it look like when it's bananas? Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, it's so bad. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Oh, that's awful. What do lasers look like? Lasers are the worst thing ever. Oh, that's... I don't think we can do this. I don't think this is viable. Oh, no. Let's get to the other boss and see if this solves it, at least. Ah. Dang it. It does solve it. Ah. Oh, man. Well, at least we know that that's the problem. Ah. Is there any way of fixing it? Oh. That's terrible. That's so bad. No, G-Pin. I don't know if you're getting it. The problem is caused by showing the lasers, but the lasers are what makes it good. Like maybe can it be acceptable for bullets? Can it is it a, maybe it can be acceptable for only bullets to have that happen? Because it's going to be fully functional. Like it'll work just fine. It just looks awful. Let's get rid of the hit check delay. Maybe we don't need that if we have this going on too. So if we get rid of this, it should make the bullets look a little more stable. Really, Minty, I'm not sure what you mean by it's not. So this is a drawing limitation of the console, where it can't draw that many sprites on a horizontal line. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It might, I'm guessing it's based on the amount of pixels, because this is fine, and that's more sprites than the laser. Like, I think I can even draw the laser and all the bullets. Well, I mean, I can do anything I want here because it's solved with this. All right, I'm gonna activate crazy mode. Oh, that's so slow. Yeah, no, we need the delay still. Even with alternate frame rendering, we have to have the delay. It's funny we could pause. We only see half the bullets at a time. For some reason, we only see the top half. There we go, bottom half. That's hilarious. It's alternating with that. That's only because of how the player spread shot works. Just do palette rotation. What do you mean palette rotation? That there's no way to do that to solve this. Hmm. Space to store pointers? Alright. What I was hoping is that the bullets wouldn't look too horrible. And then what I could do is disable this on the laser only. Limit is on a single horizontal line, yes. Can't shift up, down, 1 pixel every move. The problem is that it's a really huge area. Here, let me disable it and I'll show you. It's a big area that the problem is in. So if we go back to the way it was, all right, which is going to make it perform better, because we're going to be... so what this does, this delays the update of the bullets, so the bullets essentially lag. It doesn't redraw their position the more bullets there are. So there is a bigger delay between bullet position updates, the more bullets there are. Here, let me just demonstrate this. So here's a boss, all right, it has 2 laser cannons. The lasers occlude the player spray. That's the problem. It's not like 1 pixel. It's a lot of pixels. So just barely bumping it up or down is not gonna help. And I don't know why. It's always that one. I'm not firing there. And if I go down to the bottom one, it... Come on, fire for longer. Not a problem there, but it does affect the top one. I don't know why. It's always that one in particular. But I think I've also, yeah, I can kind of cause the issue myself. Like there, I think it was too. Maybe around here. It's kind of weirdly unpredictable. There. Let's look at the tile map and the palette and all that fun stuff while this is here. Not palette. Palette's actually not helpful at all. Let's look at the tiles. Does anything there seem to correlate? No. I also don't know why this is in here 3 times. That doesn't make sense to me. But we'll just ignore that for now. That could be related to it. I don't know. So if we do sprites, those are all fine. Sprites are being defined right next to the player sprite, it seems. So actually, these are all unused sprites. So they were created and now they're not. This is just what it sees at the location where those sprites were. So, what is the final draw? What is the draw order of the final sprites being skipped? What is the draw order? let me think about that. So let's look at game state here. Just update? No, it's in it. Hold on. Game update. Okay. So player control. Or no, boss update, bullet update. Okay. So actually the draw order is dependent on who is firing the lasers when. Because technically, let me think about this. So I'm going to let the boss fire, all right? And then I will fire. My laser should now be getting drawn last, all right? Always. Because my laser index is at, actually, no, my laser should be drawn first. So then the other ones could be after. But if I do mine while that is not active, my laser should now be drawn last. I might want to disable the, okay. Yeah, my laser's being drawn last and it goes away. So that must be the last one to be drawn on that line. I didn't really pay attention when I was doing the code as to what order each sprite is in here. I guess the first one is the farthest out, although I really thought they were out to in, or in to out, but maybe I'm wrong there. Lower IDs, then it goes from left to right. Okay. Yeah, since that just annihilated everything of mine and then the one, that kind of makes sense. I don't understand why it is always that one, though. And I think does it only do it when I'm in the way? So if I'm like way out of here. No. Even without the player there, it goes away. Although it did fire, but I don't think that it has to fire for it to happen. All right, no player, no fire, and well, it went away. Wish I'd get rewind working. There. No bullet fire, no player. Angle's different from between the top and the bottom. I didn't realize that. Huh. See, the thing that really bugs me, why does it not happen here when the player is firing? I mean, it happens there when they're all like overlaying each other. And I think I can have it happen to the bottom one. If I'm down there? No, not really. Hold on, let's try this. So I'm firing after. Now I can affect the bottom one. Okay, so when I fire after, I should get the first laser because it goes from the end to the beginning. So basically, again, there's an array of bullet IDs that are started from 0 and go to 31. And they're drawn in the order 0 to 31. But the lasers are assigned from 31 down from there. So the earlier your laser is, the later it is drawn. So my laser being last would be drawn first, and then it takes over all that stuff. It's almost like maybe there is sprites being drawn here that aren't being used, but I don't have anything that's being used like that. I mean, I was really tempted to use an empty sprite at the front of the boss for collision detection, but I decided against it. Why is that one always getting hit? Unless that one's always the secondary one. Let's disable one of the lasers and see what happens. So laser top should be first, which would make it later. Okay, I guess that's it right there then. Then laser update. So it positions the sprites. Where is it? Laser update. That's this one. Okay. So we iterate the bullets that are representing laser segments here. All right. The distance starts out at the minimum, and then it works its way out. So later bullets would be drawn last. So it might be if the boss was on the other side, then it wouldn't matter. Well, really, Minty, I think the problem is that there's no way that I can limit it. with the design of the game. I think I would have to get rid of the enemy lasers entirely. It doesn't really matter what the limitations are. And additionally, I don't think I can look that stuff up without trying to think about the best way to phrase this. Um, Currently, you could say I am clean room status on this code, and I don't know that I want to not be clean for something that I want to be able to distribute. So my not having seen GBA like official documentation is a good thing in a way. So yeah. I use U8 as a loop variable because it iterates 3 values, 0, 1, 2. It's 32-bit. I use 32 some and other, like there's a 16. I don't need more, so why allocate more than that? It's cycle limited, rotated, scaled sprites takes significantly more cycles. Ah, well that makes sense why the bullets don't do anything then, because they have nothing applied to them. Hmm. On original Game Boy, you can only display like 6 sprites on a line or something like that, and then new ones disappear. Don't know how that helps. Now, that makes sense that it is like that. Not sure homebrewers have figured out the limitation on their own. No need for official documentation. Oh, you're sure homebrewers have? Yeah. I would just have to, yeah, find that information. I would believe that it takes a lot more time for it to handle scaled sprites and all that stuff. The alternative here, which I don't really like, but I wouldn't actually have to change any code other than this one variable here, is that I could make the laser it'd simply be an emulation error, you know? I haven't tried it on real hardware. Unfortunately, I don't have the real hardware here today. That is a good thing I could check. That would be interesting. That's possible. We're at an edge case. That's worth checking, actually. That would be kind of hilarious if that was it. But I'm going to guess it's not. I'm going to guess problem with me. So here's what I could do. All right. Instead of having the laser be a line, I could have it be a 2x2 circle, and then have it just be Vector Man style, where it's a bunch of circles that move in an arc. Then I would need scaling and rotation, and that might solve it. The problem with that is it would use way more bullet sprite allocation. Like, way more. Use a tile layer for the laser. How on earth would I handle angles? If I was only doing straight, yeah. Yeah, that actually... I could give up on the rotation. Oh, that would suck. I can stop panicking. I am panicking because the game is broken in a fundamental way that I don't think I can solve, Majenko. It's technically done right now. Like, well, not done. Like, the technical stuff isn't... GBA supports affine transforms, though. You mean for the rotation and stuff, like, it looks good. Yeah, the rotations actually look okay for the lasers, but you can rotate backgrounds. There are only 2 backgrounds. The maybe when you're doing that, there are only two backgrounds really minty. I'm actually using four backgrounds right now. I have the stars, I have the tunnel, I have the boss, and I have the HUD. Those are all background layers. Let me show you actually like a secret thing that I found here, and I can show you how the background layers can be differently configured. So we're actually going to not go into the game at all here. I'm going to show you the map. All right, so this is the background layer right now. We can go through different background layers and see things here. What I'm going to do is at this screen, I'm going to press select, and that's going to go into a secret credit screen. And now it's scrolling the offset here to show different credits. And you'll see what it did is it made the background really tall. It's actually twice as tall as it normally would. But these layers are no longer valid, I think. So we have two very tall background layers that are usable, and then these ones aren't. So yeah, there's different modes for how the backgrounds operate. I don't know how to tell what mode this is, but you can definitely tell that it's swapping out. The bottom now will be swapped. Boom, and then the top will be swapped because it's scrolling and then swapping out the ones that are off screen. I think this is super cool. I love this. But I don't think there's any way I can utilize that to my advantage with this. So use multiple smaller laser sprites, make pre-calculated rotations. So I could, but the problem with smaller sprites is the more small sprites, the more bullet sprite allocations used. Never skip on variables. B U8. So whenever manager. Very ripe for underflow. Oh, it so can't underflow. Something would have to go phenomenally wrong for this to underflow. That every value related to that, every part of that equation is less than 30, essentially. So yeah, nothing could happen with that. It would be fine. There's no user input values either, so that really really hard for someone to get super messed up. If I had a fifth laser or layer, probably wouldn't use it for lasers. I would probably use it for background decorations because I think that would be better. But the lasers, man. How? That sucks so much. So I guess I'll go home. I'll try this on real hardware, and I can make the decision then. Because I don't want to like gut the code if it's not if it's an emulation error. It'd be nice if it was an emulation error. Yeah. It's only so frustrating because I think the attack pattern from the boss with the lasers that move in is so good. I think that adds so much life to the boss enemy that I can't elsewise get into there. Like that attack, that's fantastic. Hmm. It's a shame I can't do arbitrary like frame buffer drawing because I just draw like single color lasers directly to the frame buffer. I mean, I probably could with a bunch of like direct peak poke type things, but uh, for a lot of people might want to play this in emulation. I have no idea. I genuinely have no clue what the reception of this is going to be like. So yeah, I want to be sad that attack looks like it's going to have to go away. Hmm. I'm not following, Jin. Um, I don't I don't know if I can rotate the background in the mode that I'm currently using. And I don't know, I would need two backgrounds for one to make them rotate smoothly. If you're saying I could draw the lasers directly to the background as tiles, I would have to then store many permutations of the laser rotations. And I don't know if I want to store that much data. Essentially rasterize them to the tile mat. You can't rotate. Yeah. Adjust. Yeah. That would be a lot of manual math. Yeah. Rassenham. Okay, that I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, okay. I see what you mean there. Hmm. Start it less wide. Use a linear offset thing. I'm not sure what you mean. Hmm. Let's try this really quick. Just for grins and giggles. I'm gonna go into the laser update code and I'm just gonna disable the rotation. I'm curious if that solves it. I think they'll all rotate like this now, and I'm just wondering if avoiding the cycles for the rotation solves it. Maybe, maybe I can be super lazy, and if the angles are like less than 12 degrees or something, then it just doesn't rotate the sprites. And that solves it. Hmm. I'm not against that. Let's find out. So what is it gonna look like? It should look awful. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, and nope, it didn't solve it. Dang it. I swear it's better. It seems way tighter. Oh yeah, if you're talking about the line drawing its tiles, I don't think that's gonna work. I just don't. I think I'm more likely to make the lasers appear as bullets and then just draw them as sprites. Hmm. Oh, game's still running. That's why the console's printing. try something I won't like. That's realistically not a valid solution. Laser Len 2. This, I think, should solve it. Oh, I should bring the rotation back. Hold on. All right. The lasers will now be 2/3 their total length. But there will be one fewer sprites, and I think maybe that'll work. So yeah, lasers are shorter. Let's see if they still have the same overdrawing issue. They don't. So if I accept that, problem solved. All right, what do we? I'm curious. I'm gonna have a poll. Okay, I want a poll. Laser. Oh my gosh, there's a word. My brain is failing to remember this word. Concession. Short. Horizontal. Okay, I am curious. I want a poll here, and I'm gonna make it 2 minutes. What do you guys think? Should the lasers only be able to fire horizontally, or should they be short? You can be behind the short laser, not get hit. Yeah. So there is. Let me do this. All right. The player laser is short now too because of this. So let. Oh, that's a problem. I think if I restart this, I think it'll clear that out. Let's find out. Okay, good. I can't. Oh yeah, because I'm not focused. Why does using a shorter laser fix that issue? Because it only draws 2 sprites for the laser. Basically, what do we think is more important? The laser filling the screen or the laser being long? Oh, it did not like that. All right. Well, we'll figure out that bug later. Yeah, because I think they can only be short or they can only be straight. The funny thing about them being straight is that I could use background tiles then. Oh, perfect. Why did I get a... You know what? I'm not even going to ask. This is what a level 2 boss looks like. All right. I kind of wanted to see... Really, YouTube? Oh my gosh, YouTube just signed me out on one at the back end. Okay. I want to see how short they are on a tier 3 enemy. I died! Don't worry. Ah! How costly is raw frame buffer drawing? It would be very technically complicated. That's the problem. It would require a lot of learning and implementing new things in order to do it. Ah, dang it, I messed it up. All right, well, great. What happens if I go to a third one? Is he just not going to be able to fire lasers? Oh, cool, he's able to delete them. Oh, of course I get a short one. Yeah, that's real world. I was trying to see if the enemy was longer, if it would feel fine with where they would shoot the lasers from. Horizontal only by kind of a lot. I hate that I like the short ones. Need to be in different graphics mode to do direct frame buffer drawing. No libraries do basic shape drawing, not that I have available. So, no, so GPin, they're sprites. So it's whether or not there's a whole sprite there is the problem. That's why there's a seam in the middle, because that's the join point between two sprites. Yeah, a vertical shooter would be way easier, but since the GBA is a horizontal display, it kind of made sense to try to make it horizontal. I somewhat regret it now. ah. All right, let's try a different solution really quick. I think I can do this. We'll see how this goes. Um, Curious what this looks like. Time to redo the whole thing. I'm going to rip out a significant chunk of laser code if I only go horizontal. I'm not going to like it. I put so much work into the horizontal lasers. It's not funny. All right, what's this going to look like? If this works correctly, this is the other option. Yeah. So we could do that. Wait. That works kind of perfectly. So yeah, having a bunch of small ones is the other option, but what that chokes out the ability to shoot. So if while those are on screen, why did I not give myself spread shot? Wide shot. Here we go. Whoa, why is this not work? Oh, because that's the wrong one. So that's going to choke out some of the bullets that I can shoot here. So you can see there's gaps in what I'm firing. Yeah. Now, that's not a perfect representation of what it would be like. But that's kind of the idea, is that I could do that. Wow, it really makes it chug positioning that many sprites, though. So what's going on here, you'll notice it's slowing down when they get kind of horizontal to each other. That's slowing down, or I think it's because there's so many being drawn on screen at once. And in the background, the e-reader calculates a bunch of things related to the sprites for collisions and distances and types and all that kind of stuff. So the actual sprite drawing for the e-reader is a little different than the normal GBA stuff. And overall, it's a boon because it eliminates the amount of code that you need on the cards. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to even attempt direct frame buffer drawing, because I would have to do so much logic in the code that goes on the cards that it would massively inflate the size of the program, I suspect. The e-reader itself has a lot of handy libraries that make the code size small, and you need to lean on those to not have to do as much stuff yourself and balloon the size of the program. Executable size is the most critical thing here. So, I mean, art direction change, make the laser wider, more like lightning, and move sprites around to limit per row usage. I don't know that a lot of you guys are understanding exactly what the technical limitation is here. The really irritating thing is if it was a horizontal shooter, this would be a non-problem. I would just not have the shot start out 90 degrees offset. Wait a minute. Well, no, that's already not a thing. I was going to say maybe I just don't let the sprites go all the way in. Actually, what if I do that? Okay, we'll use the laser. All right. Well, we use the laser 3. All right. But I make the minimum angle like 20. So I think the angle is changing, right? Angle minus. Where's the angle being changed? Angle. Is that happening in the boss side? I guess it would have to. Laser update, laser angle. Yeah, here. Okay. How about if cooldown is 0 or laser angle is less than 20. So limit the laser angle to where it can't get in close enough to do that. Nope, wrong one. Wait, how did it... What? Okay, it starts at what? When it's fired, laser angle is what? Laser fire angle 200. Okay, maybe 20 is not the right value then. Let's say 40. It's weird. It's not degrees, it's 0 to 255. And the calculations are terrible. They're just awful. But why did that not properly release these? It just stopped updating them. It's so annoying every single time I have to drag this back over. No worse than decimated time. All right. So, boom. And that's not 40. You're not fooling me. Oh, you know what? I think count cooldown might need to be 0. There might be a check for that somewhere. Oh, wait, cooldown is that. Why? Why is it not releasing them? Okay, if angle is less than that, then it resets it. Cooldown. I think I might actually be using cooldown somewhere else, and it has to run twice. Yeah, set next cooldown. Okay, so this one, it uses cooldown twice. There's one when it first fires, then that's how long it fires for. All right, so that would be this. And then it sets it again, and that determines when it fires again next. So, oh, that's and. I'm an idiot. Hello, Till Wolf. IR good code programmer. Ugh. All right, well, let's see where 40 gets us. Okay, well, that's clearly not good enough. That's 127. That's 0. Oh, 80? It's less than 80? Okay, well, that's way too far. Let's say it's less than 140, I guess. I don't know. It's really convenient that seed 1 is worked out. So I can just get straight to the boss without having to do anything every time. Okay. All right. I think we actually found our limit. Okay. So that always works. And that doesn't overdraw. It doesn't hit the sprite limit. Okay. So we can now walk that down. 120. Although I think that, let's try 130. I think we can figure out this minimum, then we just go with that. And have it work. Because I really, really like this attack pattern. I'm extremely hesitant to get rid of this. There's not a ton I can do about the cracks. That has to do with the rotation. I can solve it. Okay, so not 130. Maybe 135. Here's how I fix the cracks, okay? I go to bullet and I set this number where is it? From 64 to 60. Boom. Fixed. But now it's going to be 12 pixels shorter. Caritas, you missed us discovering that the problem with the lasers disappearing is hardware. Wait, why didn't that work? Okay, 35 might be good, though. I'm going to hang out here. Okay, I think we can use 35. 35 is acceptable. Okay. That gets really close. Yeah, okay. See, then just turn it into a single central laser and finish the sweep. I'm not sure what you mean by single central. Why is that? Maybe that can't solve it. Like, hold on here. That's a distance, okay. Let me try something really quick. If I make this 32, what does that do? They should be half as long, the lasers. Okay, yeah, well, it's not quite half as long. But, all right, let's see what the enemy shots look like. Okay, no gaps. Okay, perfect. All right, there's a midpoint there that I need to figure out if we really care. Personally, I'm gonna leave the cracks. Actually, it makes the lasers longer. I don't think it's worth it. One horizontal laser. Oh, so Philip, I can't make a sprite that big. That's why. A sprite can only be 8 tiles wide. Or make the animation symmetric so they never overlap to begin with. Asymmetric. Well, I don't think the overlapping is the issue. We could try disabling the bottom laser and see if just having one, wrong seed, if only having one works. And we could find out. If that's the case, that's fine. See, a couple of things about this attack. It's going to be slower and it's going to be longer. And the way that it'll work is it'll start out wide, go in and then hold for a little bit. So it's going to try and force the player in the middle for a little bit of time. All right, I'm going to remove the angle limit, and then we'll only fire one laser at a time. Just try that. So we'll get rid of bottom. We'll also get rid of this. I think that's all I need. No, and here. And we'll see if we get the same problem. Because I feel like the bottom side one is not causing an issue, but I don't actually know. We're into definitely uncharted territory for me here. Okay, what's gonna happen? And no issue. What? What if I'm firing? Okay. I know what the issue is. I know why it's both. Hold on. Let me stay up here and I'll show you. It actually was, yeah, right there. So this just got occluded because technically this sprite, the middle section, is 8 pixel or 8 tiles tall here during the rotation. Yeah, I kind of forgot that the sprites were tall. They're way taller than they should be because of how the rotation works. Some ginormous sprites. Yeah, I think that's what's going on with how tall they are. Or with the rotation. I think that's how the rotation works. Now, unfortunately, there's no way. Let's say we do this, there's no solution I have for allowing the player to attack the enemy with a laser while they're also being shot at with a laser. But this gives me options. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. We allow this to happen, all right? That the player can go black if they're firing a laser off into space, because elsewise it kind of only happens when the laser goes over it. It's a not super big issue if it happens right there, I think, because there's a lot of stuff all stacked up on top of each other. It's kind of a little difficult to notice. And here's what I'll do. There will be 2 kinds of laser attacks, all right? One will be the 2 lasers that start out wide and go in, but they never go horizontal, because then the sprites all stack up on top of each other and cause a bunch of issues. Actually, I should try firing the laser in the middle of that. I bet it'll fall apart. The second attack will be 1 laser that does a larger sweep. So it'll go from up here down to, maybe it can do like a full 90, like a 90-degree sweep like that. And that would force the player to get to about here, which I think is okay. I kind of like the idea of forcing the player to move. It will... Ooh, no, we can't do that. No, we really, really can't do that. Because in reality, the player is going to be in a tunnel like this, and that could force them into a spot where they can't go. That's a little too mean. We can't do that. Okay. So it has to be the two lasers attack that pushes them to the center. That's the only way that makes sense. The tunnel doesn't move that much. It kind of moves a bit. No, I don't want it to be random top or bottom. I like the idea of both and pinching them. You'll notice it's random top or bottom firing for the guns right now. Actually, it alternates. But we could technically do that for the lasers, but I really wanted to. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just do one. Maybe we do one and then it sweeps. I think I have to think about this. I should. This is a difficult call on this one. I don't know. Here's one thing I can tell you. The laser enemies will only ever fire them straight. That's for sure. And then that avoids all of the issues with this stuff. But yeah.
Willie Fleet subbed as tier 1 and says just joined, what have I missed? End of line.
Willie Fleet, thank you for the tier 1 sub and 17 months of hanging around. You missed us kind of breaking down how this is working because we're having an issue right here that you can see where the player ship sprite disappeared and one of the segments of this laser beam over here has disappeared. And that's because there are horizontally too many sprites overlapping all at once. So there you can see the player ship just disappeared. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle that. Because I really don't want to give up rotating sprites, which is apparently entirely the problem. But if I did give them up, it might fix it. But then it's not cool. And I'm trying to figure out how many alternating beams. I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean alternate rendering them, we tried that, and it will give people seizures. It's terrible. I can re-enable that code and show you. It's still in here. First one sweep and then another. Oh, so this and then back. That might be too much controlled movement. I can demonstrate why. So if we kill this guy and move along here. Okay, maybe if I played better. Hold on. Let me kind of. Oh my gosh! Let me just make the player invulnerable. Hold on. Player damage. There. Let me get later into the game so you can see why. Oh, also, actually, hold on. I need. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's fine. I was gonna say I need the boss to release its lasers, but it does not actually matter. Okay. Oh, it's terrible in person too, Jin. That's the problem. All right. We're just gonna zip on ahead, past a couple of bosses here. That way I can demonstrate to you how this is actually gonna work. Oh, that got wonky. That got real wonky. Yeah, I need to fix the boss releasing the sprites. It's funny how much the fan of my laptops kicks up. Is this on Steam yet? It's never going to be on Steam. Okay. So we're doing a little better here. Okay. Here you can see how tight the tunnel is now. So the tunnel gets progressively tighter later. So there's a limitation to how much movement the player has. But generally, the enemy ship, the enemy boss is always in front of the player. That's why I'm a fan of the two lasers narrowing in. Because you're kind of always going to be able to be in front of the boss. But there's nowhere I could go, like right now, if it swept all the way down. Like, that would be very difficult to avoid. So the two of them going into each other kind of works better. I could have them one after another push towards the center, but I don't know. This is a tough call. I think I just noticed a bug. I think the boss is trying to be one tile higher than it should be in the center of the tunnel. It's easy enough to fix. So yeah, I got to think about how to handle that. I think the two going to the middle. Yeah, let's re-enable that really quick. Let's kill this. Boss. Uncommon, blah, blah. Okay. Bring that back. This. Okay. And then I want to try to fire the player laser in the middle. I want to see if everything just turns invisible. So here, oh my gosh, it gets so bad. Oh, that's rough. It's really weird where the issues happen. Huh. Yeah, it is time. I think I'm gonna have to think about that one. That one's a little more complicated than I realized it would be. Also, I wish I knew how to layer the sprites. This is really bad that the HUD gets drawn under the sprites. Ah, yeah. All right. We'll have to figure this out later. Okay, I'll now reveal how the stream has been working the whole time. I have been streaming from the laptop directly to the server at home. And I was doing that using a different internet service. So, yeah, this has been interesting. I just realized the webcam's still going to be up, but don't worry about that. So I think I might try this for the whole weekend. I was curious if I would get booted off of this. Oh, hello, good day, internet viewers. We're actually wrapping up right now. Sorry about that, but yeah, I was just getting ready to end the stream here. But yeah, so stream breaks as he talks about internet. Wait, did it really? Yeah, so I think this is suddenly get massive corruption, of course. I mean, if it's still connected, then... Oh, yeah, that's really bad. I'm seeing that now. How? What? That's weird. Huh. I have no idea what's causing that. I'm gonna hide the webcam. One moment. I'm gonna stop and restart. Okay. Yeah, that fixed it. Weird. Okay. Webcam reach horizontal sprite limit. Yeah, really. Uh, so, yeah, this worked better than I thought it would. So this was actually a 4.5 megabits per second stream. I don't know what the quality looks like compared to how it's normally been, but that's 3 times higher than it has been, and I effectively used 0 data for this setup. So yeah, I will. I'm hoping. Oh, Trial, thank you for the raid there. So I don't know why I don't just do the LTT thing and trail fiber cable from my house. Yeah, it's not gonna work. But I'm curious, did the stream actually look any better? Because it was still MPEG 2, and weird. How? It's actually the first solution I ever tried for internet at the office. My ISP has Wi-Fi hotspots all over, and you can log in using your paid account credentials. And it didn't work before, but then I realized, I think the Wi-Fi adapters I was trying to use on desktops were terrible and ancient, and it just worked on my laptop, which has a much newer Wi-Fi card. So I think their hotspots require a very new and fancy Wi-Fi or wireless card in order to work. So I might try and order a much more modern USB Wi-Fi adapter because this might be viable here. Well, let me rephrase that. It is viable because we didn't have any issues until the one weird one, but that was probably an encoding thing. So yeah, I think we can get away with this, and that solves a lot of problems at the office, and I can massively reduce the cost of my phone bill. So why not PCIe? Because then the antenna is stuck on the back of the computer, or I have to get a weird antenna thing, versus just using the USB 3.0 extension cable I have right here that lets me put it anywhere I want. So yeah, I have no idea what that is, Yin. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research. But anyway, we should wrap this up. So I am gonna run the outro. Oh yeah, the downside to this. Well, actually, no, I can still make this work. I couldn't do this stream from my data cap. They could technically implement one, but I don't think there is. I'll say it that way. I don't think there is one because it's weird. So, glad you're doing. Used to run Metro Wi-Fi system and it was perpetual headache. Oh gosh. But yeah. So for the GoPro camera thing here, I can't do that while I'm using the laptop, which has the viable Wi-Fi card. But I will order a Wi-Fi card on Amazon or something. I got to do some research on them. So yeah, use the router to connect the client to the ISP hotspot. I don't know that I can do that. And additionally, it's like a web auth login thing. I don't know if I can automate that. I can look into it there. So, yeah. So, wait, why did the phone? Oh, there it is. I know that's a reference. I want to say it's a Douglas Adams, but I can't pinpoint what it is. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this up. I'm gonna go ahead and run the outro. Oh yeah, long story short, no GoPro camera until I get Happy Gilmore. Yes, okay. Yeah, all right. Or is it, Billy Madison. Okay, same thing. Yeah, no GoPro until I get a Wi-Fi card for the actual streaming computer, which currently is on. Doesn't actually need to be. So, all right, let me switch to the outro. All right, thank you all for being here for this experimental stream. It went better than I anticipated. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Did I fix the mics yet? No. I still don't know exactly how I want to handle that. So, I'm kind of back burnered. Yeah, for now. So, yes, we'll check back in tomorrow. We're gonna do something. I'll have to figure out what it is. I have not decided yet. So I have some ideas. That would be kind of cool thing to look at down there. I might have an idea of what we're gonna do. But yes. So thank you all for being here. If you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. But for now, that's it, and I will see you next time. It didn't print the printer print. There.